welcome to Slow and Not Steady with your host today, Elizabeth. Hey, well, today we will be talking about value. I feel like a lot of times, well, depending on where you are in your self-love journey and your insecurities or like your mindset, whatever, value is a very, 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 very important thing. For me, speaking from personal experience, growing up and when I was young, I know that I did not have a whole lot of value in myself, and that all rooted in my personal insecurities, which came from, childhood or the standard of beauty and what I looked like and how my hair was opposed to what people preferred or what was portrayed in this media and stuff. So because of that, I guess I associated my value with my physical appearance and the lack of, I would say, attention that I got from it. Like, I felt less valuable because of what I look like. I felt less valuable because I had a gap. I felt less valuable because of my kinky hair. And all of that caused me to be extremely insecure. And I felt like I was valued on a lesser level because I was quote unquote ugly, which wasn't true. And that's the lie that I told myself. And it was reinforced by people I liked or guys that I kind of had a crushes on didn't necessarily like me back. And a little bit of my background, my mom, she's Haitian. So growing up, we didn't really get affirmed, I would say, about, oh, your skin is beautiful, black is beautiful, like, hey, your hair is beautiful, all of this. And I realized it's because my mom's from Haiti. She was born and raised in Haiti. She didn't come to the States until she was like 23 when she met my dad. And the thing about that is everybody in Haiti is black. Well, okay, granted, not everybody, but there's a higher population of black people in Haiti. So the issues that we have over here regarding colorism and like dark skin versus light skin and like, dark skins being deemed not as beautiful or light skins, kinky hair, all that stuff, that wasn't necessarily an issue over there. So my mom, she would tell us that we're pretty and beautiful and stuff, as mothers do to their daughters, but she didn't do it, I guess, to the level or the extent that I may have needed, because she didn't necessarily understand or know that that was a problem that I was going through, which was basically like colorism and feeling as if because I'm darker and my hair's kinkier that I'm less beautiful, because it's nothing she went through. And I remember, like, in the later years in life, when I was older, I talked to my mom about it maybe a year ago or something, and she was so surprised. And she was like, what? I never knew this. Like, she was like, I never knew that you thought like that. Like, I always thought you were so beautiful. And I thought you were beautiful too. Like, why wouldn't you? And I was just like, oh, I always thought. And she was like, whoa. Like, it was just a whole shock to her because she wasn't expecting that. And yeah, I took my value and I placed my value in the hands of other people, how other people saw my physical appearance. It wasn't until I would say I got older and I got my braces that I kind of started, a little here and there getting like the attention of males, like guys thinking I'm cute or whatever. And from there, as bad as it sounds, I would say that's when the kind of trajectory of my values started progressing. And it really wasn't until maybe college that I went to an HBCU and it was a complete change. Like, dudes would be thinking I'm cute, coming up to me, etc., blase, blase. And I was like, oh, shoot, you know what? Maybe I am. Or, like, I am cute. Like, I started getting more confident. Like, I started getting more confident in myself, more comfortable in my own skin. And I started seeing value as something not outwards, but inwards. I remember it would have to be when I graduated. Yes. When I graduated, and my senior year is when the whole shift of value and how I saw myself started changing. You know, I realized that value is not skin deep. It's not about what I look like. It's not about like my beauty. It's so much of what I got, who I am, the type of person that I am inside. And I mean, I started looking better because, you know, your girl, she was looking good or whatever. She was looking good or what? No, I'm kidding. But no, honestly, I started looking better, in my personal opinion. Um, I was starting to get to the place where my confidence was like being elevated because I liked the route I was going. And with it, that confidence started coming in, my value started increasing. And it's crazy because, sometimes when you think you got it or you think you're understanding something, you could be like on an uphill trajectory on understanding stuff, or like thinking you're understanding yourself, your value, where you stand, your standards, your boundaries, all that stuff. Um, and then everything kind of just hits rock bottom and you're kind of right where you started. And I found out that even though I was starting to feel confident in myself, like when I would get into a relationship, I know I got into a relationship when I was in college, and I put my value inside of my relationship. And when my relationship failed, I felt less valuable. I felt less worthy. I felt like, what, it failed because I'm not good enough. And looking back, I realized a lot of times I put my value in the hands of other people when that's not how it's supposed to go. No, the relationship did not fail because I wasn't valuable. The relationship did not fail because I wasn't worthy. The relationship dissolved or ended because of XYZ. Nothing dealing with me. Well, okay, let me not say that. Nothing dealing with my value. My value doesn't diminish because somebody doesn't see it. My value doesn't diminish because a relationship failed. My value doesn't diminish because something in my life doesn't work out. And this could go for relationships. This can go for life goals, life plans. This could go for college. This could go for places you want to be in life. Just because you aren't necessarily where you want to be in life does not mean that your value diminishes. Because it doesn't. It doesn't. I took my relationship failing. I took my rejections. I took things not necessarily going my way as confirmation that it's because I'm not valuable, that it's because I'm not worthy. But in all honesty, it's just, what, maybe it was just a timing that wasn't right. That doesn't mean that there's something wrong. That doesn't mean that my value diminishes because I was rejected. That doesn't mean my value diminishes because a relationship ended. It doesn't mean my value diminishes because a friendship ended. No. Everything is a stepping stone. Everything is a stepping block for you to move forward and progress even more in life. And it took a time, and it's something I'm still working on, not taking things so personal. Because it's really easy to take it personally and just blame yourself when things go wrong and tie things not working out how you want it to with your value. It's easy to say, what, because this didn't work out, I'm not valuable. I mean, it really does depend on the type of person, because some people, they'll blame the others and be like, oh no, this didn't work because of this person. And some other people are like, oh no, this doesn't work because it's all my fault. And the truth of the matter is, it's probably a mix of the two. Just because things don't work out doesn't mean that you are less valuable. And that was something that I'm still, really working towards and working on. I remember I was listening to a sermon. I think it was Jeffrey Flowers or Jerry Flowers. Like, it's like Reform TV. And he was basically saying that you could be a Louis V bag and someone can treat you like a Walmart bag. That doesn't mean you're not valuable. It just means that you're with the wrong person. If someone doesn't see your value, that does not make you less of a person. That does not make you less valuable. That just means that they don't see your worth. As long as you can see your worth, as long as you know your worth, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. Because let's say, you know how thrifting works. One man's trash can be another man's treasure. All the times you see are on these antique shows, there will be objects sitting in these people's houses. There will be objects sitting in these stores that people constantly, consistently overlook. But when the right person comes around and they see it, they know that they have a prize on their hands. Just because the item was constantly overlooked doesn't mean that the item ever lost value. The item just was coming in contact, or people were just coming in contact with the item that did not see their value, that could not have appreciated their item for what it was because of where the item was at, whether that be the thrift store, whether it be antique, whether that just be sitting in their living room. Because of its position, they overlooked its value. They completely dismissed it for its value because of where it was. Sometimes, depending on the season you are in your life, people will completely dismiss your value. And you got to be able to separate the two. Just because I'm in this season does not mean that my value is any less. Just because something happened doesn't mean that I need to see myself any less. Just because this person doesn't see me how I know that I am, how I feel like I am portrayed, how my value is and what my value is and what my value is shown, does not mean that my value is anything less. Your season does not define your value. You're valuable. But you know who does define your value? You do. If I'm walking around, or if I see like a Louis V bag or whatever, no, let me not use that example. But if I'm walking around and I'm allowing people to treat me however way because I don't have value in myself, people will treat you how you treat yourself. And if you do not have value within yourself, people will continuously treat you as if you have no value. And you know what you're in? You're in a cycle that's constantly reaffirming that you're not valuable because you don't see it in yourself. But the moment when you break that cycle and you start seeing yourself as valuable, you start setting boundaries and you start filtering out the people who deserve to be in your circle and those who don't, what's being reaffirmed now is that you are indeed valuable. And that's important. Don't let society, don't let things going wrong, don't let social media trends, don't let beauty standards, don't let failures determine your value. Only you can. No one can tell you what you're worth but you. They can try. And it's human nature. We're always going to try to get over on somebody so we could do the least possible and still get the most benefits. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to attack your value. Yeah, you're not good enough. So now that you don't think you're good enough, I could reap all the benefits with doing the bare minimum because I already put in your head that you're not good enough, that you're not valuable. So you know what? I could walk all over you and still get what I want out of you because you know what? I reaffirmed and you believe that you're not valuable. So you know what you're not going to do? You're not going to check me. You're not going to say otherwise. You're going to think that me treating you like the dirt beneath my shoe is the best you could get because you're not valuable and you'll allow me to treat you as such. And as terrible as it sounds, that's the way the world works. People aren't inherently going to treat you like a good person just because you're a good person. People aren't going to always do right by you. At the end of the day, you're going to have to do right by yourself. You're going to have to filter out and weed out the people who need to be in your circle and don't need to be in your circle by yourself. And let me let you in on a little secret. When you start on that journey and you start seeing your value and you start moving differently, people gonna get mad. They'll be upset. They'll be upset that you're not allowing them to do what they used to do, which was walk all over you. They'll try to, bring you back down to where you once were, but you gotta keep moving forward and you gotta keep pushing. So, if no one told you, or if you haven't heard it lately, you heard it from here. You are valuable. Begin walking in your power. Lift your head up, straighten up your shoulders. Walk with a purpose. No one can tell you what you're worth but you. You determine that. Not society, not your parents, not your friends, not your lovers, not your exes, not your failures, not your successes. None of that. You're valuable and you deserve to be treated as much. Much love.